we're gonna set it up that way. And then if, hopefully nothing bad or nobody bad tries to come in there and do some crazy stuff, and we won't have to set any rules, but right now it's just a free-for-all, so there's no rules. So thank you, Greg, for getting that all set up, and I look forward to seeing what's in there. I would like to mention that I would ask that you not just stop commenting, because the comments help my videos get spread out to other people that haven't seen them. The YouTube algorithm requires comments, likes, and obviously subscriptions. It's all tied in together, and it's very challenging. Obviously, you guys that have been with me for a long time know that I've been trying hard to get this channel to grow, and here lately it's been doing a lot better. It seems like once I hit 4,000, I got quite a few more subscribers, so welcome to everybody that's new here. I really appreciate you being here. Secondly, I wanted to give you a quick update on Vivian, so I'm going to show you a quick video of her currently. I took this like right before I started filming, and here goes. Okay, so I also have my shirt off here. Sorry about that, but some of you, I have one guy particularly just had asked me to do like a workout video, and I just thought I would, so some of you maybe think I'm not really in good shape for being 50 years old. Again, I'm not going to win any bodybuilding contest, but for being 50, I'm in pretty good shape. Look at the little baby Vivian, or Pearl. She loves her belly rubs. She is just a cute little doll. But this is nice for my journal too, so I can see how big she was at 10 months old. She's 10 months now. And then Vivian, you see her just sleeping, but she is completely back to her old self, up and running around all day long, eating as much as she can, like begging for food all the time. So it's like nothing ever happened. If she didn't have the shaved areas, I wouldn't even remember she was in the hospital. So yeah, she's doing amazing, and I'm so happy about it. And of course, Pearl's just sitting there begging for more belly rubs. She's irresistible. I swear to God, I don't know if you've never had a dog, I can't explain it to you, but she truly does just melt my heart. I love all my dogs, of course, and speaking of all my dogs, I can't forget about Max, so we're gonna check him out real quick. And there he is. He's the old man. He's almost 14 years old, and that guy has just been the epitome of health. I mean, he's got some bad hips, but I give him medication for it every day. He gets joint supplements and also gets a pain medication, so he has a good life. So, okay. And we're going to get back to the video now. Okay. So, okay. Now we're back. So another part of this video I wanted to make, because obviously part of doing a journal is just your day-to-day, what's going on in your life, but also I think part of journaling is what's going on in your mind. And I've had a lot of, if you watched a lot of my past videos, you know that I've given a lot of my opinions on the state of the world, and kind of what I think all of our problems are. And I got a comment the other day from Becca, not Rebecca, but Becca. I have a Rebecca subscriber and also have a Becca, and Becca asked me to give my thoughts on Pride Month. And she is I believe she's a lesbian. I think she's in a relationship with another woman. She's a very pretty woman, and it looks like she's in a relationship with another very pretty woman. And so to give my opinion or thoughts on it, and part of commenting on controversial topics, one, I can get in trouble with YouTube, but two, I stand to alienate people, because obviously not all of you guys all agree and believe the same thing. diversity. You know, I love everybody, and I think everybody should be free to do whatever they want. Love who you want. You know, I know that, like, religious speaking wise, like most religions, like especially Christianity and Islam, are opposed to homosexuality, whether it's a woman or a man. But I'm not religious, and so I don't have that stance. Now, I believe it's gotten a little carried away with, like, having little kids go to drag shows. You know, I just think that if I had a little girl, I can't imagine having like a 6 or 7-year-old girl and having some grown man in women's like bikinis, like dancing around in front of him with like, in front of her with like a bulge in his pants. I just would like, I think as a parent I would flip the hell out. And so all I can do is relate, because I don't have kids, but I can imagine if I did, what would I think as a parent? And I think it's just gone too far. I'm not a big fan of that, and I don't know why it's a thing. I really don't. Like, you wouldn't let your, like, if you had an all-boys school, you wouldn't let strippers come in and visit the all-boys school, would you? I mean, come on. It's like, that's like the common sense stuff to me, so I don't know why we've gotten so extreme to like try to prove a point. And like, it's like, I don't know, it's not like we're giving equality now. It's like we're giving them way more rights than we would ever expect of ourselves, because again, as that example of like female strippers would never be allowed to go into an elementary school dressed, you know, provocatively. So that bothers me a little bit. But on to the Pride Month. That part concerns me as well, primarily just because it's a whole month, and it's like, I think about like other holidays that we celebrate, and like Veterans Day, for example, we celebrate men who have died for our freedom, and we give them a day. And to me, that's just like, it's just not fair. It's like those people sacrifice for everyone, and like with Pride, it's like, I get, like, in the past, you know, it's been horrible, like for any group that's been victimized or had to struggle for like equality, like blacks, or women in general. I appreciate that. I appreciate that we want to celebrate that we've made it beyond that. And so, yes, I want to acknowledge that. But again, to make an entire month out of it and to fly rainbow flags on every government building and schools and places of work, and I don't know, it just seems really like, it seems like it's so in your face, and I think it does the opposite of what I think we were trying to do, which was like celebrate. Like, if there was a Pride Day, you know, like a Veterans Day, I think it would make like people like me to think, I would say, oh, it's Pride Day, okay, top of mind. These people, you know, had to work throughout the centuries to gain equal rights, and the rights to love who they want to love without being in the closet or hiding the truth from people because they would lose their job or worse, get killed or something like that. So I certainly would, you know, I respect that. I respect that group of people that has had to endure that type of hardship to get equal standing. But I think that by giving a whole month and by just like keeping it in people's faces, that really, because the majority group in this country is Christians, and they don't like believe it. They would prefer not to, you know. They would prefer that people not be gay, and they think it's like a sin. And you just like shove it in their face for an entire month, and all the brands that they use, the companies they use, they start like getting on the bandwagon. And so to me, I think it's having the opposite effect by stretching it out so long. So that's my basic take on Pride Month, is that I think it's a little too long. I think we should have a Pride Day, and I think it would do well, it's garbage that they have a full month. No, that's just my honest opinion, and I hope that, Becca, I hope you just appreciate my honesty, because that's just how I feel. I don't hate, I don't have any ill will. I just think that by doing the month, you're compromising what you're really trying to do, which is bring a better feeling to people about your group, and I liken that same to Black History Month. I just think it's a long time to have it on the news every day and to talk about it, and because again, I think in the end, what we need to do as a society is just be human beings. And I don't see you as black or white or gay or straight or Christian or Muslim. You're just another human being. To me, that's the only way we're going to get this world right, is to stop with the separation. Stop, choosing who we like based on those types of characteristics. Like Martin Luther King, we want to be judged by the content of our character. Who are you? Are you a good citizen? Do you work hard? Do you pay your bills? Do you not commit crimes? Are you good to people? Are you courteous? Are you clean? When you go out in public, are you presentable? Those are the types of things that I think make a good person, regardless if you're gay or whether you're white or black or whatever religion you are, or if you came here and as an immigrant, or if you were born here. It just doesn't matter. None of that stuff. All that stuff is just noise. We just have to get down to loving each other as a humanity, as a group. And that's one thing I like about my channel, is that everybody here is different. We are all different colors, and even if we're white, we're different shades of white, and if we're black, we're different shades of black or brown, if some people are here from America, and some from Wales, and some from Turkey, and some from Russia, and we're just all so different. We speak different languages, and we eat different foods, and all of that is great. It just somehow we just have to, and we all enjoy ASMR, and I think that that's the key, is that what do we all have in common, and we need to go back, I believe, to celebrating what makes us all the same, celebrating the things that bring us together, the things that unite us, instead of trying to celebrate the diversity. Yet we should appreciate the diversity, but celebrate the common ground. That is how we're gonna fix this world and have less hate, and the angst that exists, and the political parties, and it's just, and I know that social media and 24-hour news has really exacerbated the problem. Somebody's up walking around. I hope they're not gonna. Oh, she's coming under my desk. Little Pearl's coming to lay under me. I'm gonna take my hand up so I can pet her. Oh, she's just spun around in a circle and then laid under my feet. Sorry for that. I'll leave that noise in there, but I'm sorry. Anyway, that's what I think we need to do. I think celebrating our unity, celebrating the things that bring us together, the things that unite us, what is common about us. I think we shift to that. Friends, the world would be a much better place. So you and I, we celebrate ASMR together. I do this so that you'll listen to it, and then you'll comment maybe on something I say, and it's I've had people disagree with me, but be really kind about it and say, Derek, I agree with this, and this, but on this I have this opinion. I'm great, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you sharing your views, and so when people can respectfully disagree, I think it's amazing. But how much time do I have? Let me pause here. because I have so many great black friends, and it's like, okay, should I be mad at slavery? Because in my mind, my black friends that I have would not be here if it weren't for slavery. And so that's what got me kind of thinking. I'm like, it's like, am I just trying to find the beauty in the pain? Like, I know it was a horrible thing, and I would never say slavery was good, because it was not. It was a horrible thing. But when I look back and I try to think about it all logically, and I think, okay, what could we have done differently? How could we have done this differently and still be in a good position today? And I think that if America would have never imported slaves, so this was an interesting statistic I read when I was trying to research this, was of all the slaves that left Africa that were sold during the slave trade, only 6% came to America. Of all the slaves, that means 94% of all the Africans sold during the slave trade went somewhere else. But like, if you watch the news, everybody it sounds like America's the only place that slavery existed. That's the way that the media and the narrative that's given out there in the world makes it sound. And it's just not true. And so there's that. And the other side of that is, I look at it like this. It isn't like the 6% of slaves that came over here. It's not like Americans went over to the continent of Africa and like hunted down human beings like deer. No. They went to slave auctions and bought them from Africans that were selling them. The Africans were selling their own people. They were already enslaved in their own country. And we were buying them. So it's like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of like a drug dealer. And who gets punished more, the user or the dealer? Well, common sense tells you the drug dealer gets a worse sentence than the user. But in this scenario, it is not the case. What do? America is the monster. All the white men of the past, our forefathers, take all the blame as the only bad people, as if that 100-year period of America was the worst part of America, was the worst time of humanity. And it's just not true. I mean, thousands upon thousands of years slavery existed prior to America even being here. And the other part is that it wasn't even Americans that started it. The British. This was the British territory. They were the ones that had started slavery here, and we fought for our rights against them. And when we won our independence, it wasn't long after that we ended slavery here. So, but again, going back to that dealer thing, it's like, why do we not vilify the Africans for selling their own people? It's like they have some responsibility in all of this. It's not just the evil white man. And so I just think that part bothers me a little bit. And again, I know it was terrible. I hate that we did it. I wish that we didn't. And I wonder what it would be like here today if we didn't. I can tell you this, there'd be a whole lot less there'd be a whole lot less, people of color here. Because if you think about it too, it's like the way that the media and the narrative makes it sound is that every white person in America had a slave, when in fact, we fought a civil war to end it, because half the country, the whole North, they didn't even use slaves. They didn't even have them. That's a lot of white people that never had slaves. I think the statistic I saw was that at the highest, 30% of Americans owned a slave. That means 70% didn't. That means 70% of white people were out there suffering in their own fields and doing the same things that slaves would have been doing. And in my mind, I feel like, though I'm sure some had it worse, I'm also sure that some actually had it better. I'm sure that some slaves were better off here as slaves than they were in their own country as slaves. That there were slaves or not. They knew it was wrong and they stopped it eventually. And that's where I feel like we did the right thing. Had we never had those white people not banded together and wrote that Constitution, we very well may still have slavery today in this country. You know, we just don't know. We don't know what would have happened. So I feel like, you know, tearing down these statues of these people that really did a good thing, you know, it really bothers me because I admire what they did. They risked their lives so that I could be free today. And the same thing with the slaves. I admire what they did because they toiled in those fields and they endured abuse, some of them, so that their ancestors could be born in this free land and not be slaves. And instead, it's like so many people want to just like look back and fight a 200-year-old grievance when 600,000 white people died in the Civil War to try to free the slaves. And it's like, I feel like when people talk about reparations, I feel like the 600,000 people that died, the 600,000 white people that died to get the slaves freed, I think that was the price we paid. That was our commitment to ending slavery and our sacrifice and the price we were willing to pay to end that horrible practice once and for all. So I would just ask that, like, please don't take offense to these thoughts, because these are just thoughts in my mind, and again, they may evolve, but this is my journal, and I'm basically talking to myself, and I'm telling myself the thoughts that I'm having at this point as I think through this unbelievably difficult problem to have, because it's a current problem in our society still to this day, because people are still talking about it as if it just happened. And it's like, we have got to move on. We have got to unify together. We've got to become brothers and sisters regardless of what color we are, and we cannot take back what happened in our past, but we can look back and say this was bad. But then we can also say, okay, yes, it was bad, but what good came of it? And the good that came of it is today, my brothers and sisters, we are all together. And if you think about it, if you just stop right now and say, okay, what am I grateful for? Would I rather be here? Or are there other places in the world that might be worse to live in? Maybe it is a blessing that I am here. Maybe it is a blessing that my forefathers endured horrible tragedies to get me here today. No different than the way we look at soldiers who died in the wars. You know, the same way we can look at slaves and say God bless them for enduring what they endured so that their future generations can enjoy freedom like no other civilization ever has. The things we have, think about it, they didn't have ASMR back then. We've got ASMR, we've got the internet, we've got jets, we can fly across the world. We've got cars, we've got grocery stores full of food, we've got indoor plumbing, we've got electricity and lights. I'm like, God, people, we have it made. I know life is tough as hell, but damn it, we have so much to be grateful for. We really do. And that's what I'm hopeful that you can take away from this, whether you disagree with a lot of what I said. I just hope, again, please, I'm just kind of sorting through my own thoughts, and I hope you just appreciate my honesty, and I hope it makes you maybe think about maybe some point of views that you've had. That's all. It's like sometimes it's good to hear somebody else's points on a topic, because that's how all of us change our minds. I mean, the things I've changed my mind on throughout my life are just it's an endless list, you know. So anyway, checking out my time, I'm almost at 30 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and go now. So I thank you so much for watching, and check out the Discord site, and don't stop commenting, please, and hopefully you'll subscribe if you haven't. Thank you for watching.